Hello. If you are joining me for gentle painting this Sunday, here are some tips to get you started. As you can see, I'm marking my art journal where I created this concept painting with just a piece of tape to show me where the middle is approximately. And I'm adding a piece of tape to the canvas as well. And this is what you want to do to your canvas before the paint class. So we'll have about 10 to 15 minutes in the beginning so everybody can draw their cups onto their canvas. And this is your tutorial to show you how to do that. So you can see I've done 4 lines and zigzagged them. And what I've done as well is just drawn the tops of the figures. So I have a plate on the bottom, a bowl, and then 4 lines for cups going up. Now you'll see that once I have the tops done, I'm filling in the shape. So for the bowl, of course, it's a little rounder, and you just kind of go from the bottom upwards, filling in the lines as you go, and if you make a mistake, that's okay, just erase it. You can do touch-ups. You'll see here that I'm going to be doing a lot of little touch-ups here and there, and try to follow what I'm doing. You do want it to look like you have stacked some cups from your kitchen in a tower. And think about, as you're drawing them, how would they actually fit together in real life? Some cups are larger on the bottom, some cups are smaller, some will sink deeper into the cup they're above, while others sit higher. The one I'm doing right now fits nicely into the bowl. You can see it's very simple. Once you have that diagonal line drawn, you just round out the edges in the shape of a cup. This one I put a little bit of a different bottom on, and then you draw those handles fairly easy, just a semicircle. And this part can be really rough because remember, we are painting over top of everything, so you do not need it to be a perfect drawing. The drawing will disappear as we paint. One tip if you're drawing the edges is just to notice that it's going to line up with the edges of the cup underneath it. So this will give it something to lean against and make it look a little bit more realistic. If your line doesn't meet the edge, then it's going to sort of look a little bit funny and out of place as far as size. So just kind of consider that as you're going up one cup at a time. And now we have another diagonal line. So you can see, again with the rounding to make the cup shape and the half circle to make the handle. And then I'm just going to go back in and touch it up. And I'm also just going to give you a little trick to make sure that you have the dimensions correct. So you can see I do go over and I look at different areas, and I'm not afraid to erase and try again. This isn't really about perfection. This is just about, spending some time and exploring something new, but also just enjoying the process of creating something and seeing it come together. So next I'm just going to show you kind of what it would look like if they were actual cups sitting inside each other, and then adjust accordingly if I need to make it look a little bit more realistic. So right now we have sort of half cups, and I'm just going to draw the imaginary line that you wouldn't see in the painting. And by doing that, I can kind of say, okay, well, this needs a little bit more girth over here, and this one fits nicely. This one right here, okay, well, the shape is off on one side, so let's give that a little bit more as well, and it can lean against the inside of the cup there. That'll hold it up nicely. You can see these are just sort of corrections, so for yourself, and you're going to erase them. But it's just to give you an idea of how they would be sitting inside, more of a visual for any of you visual learners out there who kind of need this step. And I've erased most of them now, so I'm just going in and getting a little bit of the spots that I've left behind, and maybe there's a few more touch-ups for me and for you as well. And it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Pottery is all shaped very different, and that's sort of what's charming about it. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. There's just tips, so little guidelines that I'll give you, and you just try to make it look as close as possible to mine, but it is very simple, and it's not really too much technical drawing here, just a few lines, and we'll get there in the end. So this is the pack that I usually buy that contains all the colors that I usually use for about 90% of my paintings. You can get it at Michael's. It contains the 6 colors that I use the most. So for this painting, you'll need the black and the white, and the blue, yellow, little tiny bit of red. And this one is the larger angle brush, which is going to be very useful for this painting because you're going to be doing a lot of outlining. And I like the larger one too because you can use it for the background to fill in where the black is. And then there's a little one too. If you have a little angle brush, that's nice as well. You can kind of get into the tighter spots, get a little bit more control with it. And then also you can use a large flat brush to paint around the background as well. And you don't necessarily have to have a black background in this. I can give you options as we go to. Some people like a lighter background, or if you have like a little brush and you want to do the lining with that, if you're more comfortable using a paintbrush almost like a pencil. And then any round brushes will do as well. Sometimes it's nice to have a round brush around because everybody likes to paint differently. Not all artists use the same tools for the same jobs, and I always recommend bringing just a few different brushes and I can guide you, but ultimately it's up to you what you'd like to use. So these 2 small ones, bring a few small ones with you. If you're painting in person with me, I'm providing all the brushes, they'll all be sterilized. And if anybody has any questions or wants to sign up, please message me at artbyrhiannonberry@gmail.com. Thank you.